I actually had to go put my phone in the refrigerator because the camera was overheating. Here in Arizona, it's over 100 degrees outside already. And, well, two dried pineapple and a third coffee later, I'm back. Hi, welcome to day 5 of the Seeley Challenge. Today I'm reading Gale Marie Thompson's Helen or My Hunger. Boy, did I undersell this in my teaser yesterday. These are not the meanderings of an up-and-coming poet. This is the raw, unabashed, hardcore talent of a true poetic professional. This is such a finely sculpted piece of art, in my opinion. And as you can see, I've got a lot to say about it. I'm going to share that with you right now. Buckle in. I realized right away with Helen or My Hunger that I had my work cut out for me. The first few entries in this book were extremely intimidating and challenging. It wasn't until I got about 4 or 5 poems in that I started to realize that Gale was leaving little hints or little clues for us, for the reader to pick up on, whether it was italicizing a specific word or line. The inclusion of footnotes, endnotes into the book were extremely helpful, but they all were little breadcrumbs, signposts, if you will, that helped me to navigate my way through the rest of the book with a little bit more ease. Not to say that this is an easy book by any means. What I really liked about Helen or My Hunger is the fact that Gale Marie Thompson writes with such precision. You feel while you are reading this book that there is not a word wasted, that she meticulously and achingly struggled composing this piece, that every single word is in its place for a reason, and that the form in which she chose to write the book, whether it was by hand some days versus typing it on a keyboard, or references to Adrienne Rich and how she hurt her wrist and how the pain of writing actually came through in the words themselves, and the way that she specifically articulates that precision is important in writing, and she communicated it to her classroom in one of the excerpts here that I'm going to read. In class, I tell my students that we must define our terms, that we must use precision in our language, or else it doesn't reach another person. In truth, one of the most telling signs that my depression is returning is that I become both bored and distrustful of poetry, of words in general. It seems so manipulative, I think, steering words around just to get other people to feel things. I am unaffected by a poet's decision to put one word in front of another word. This is just a trick. This book is, in Gale's own words, a process of learning to speak again, of continuing to practice the problem, of leaning into devotion when it is bleak. I think one of the things I really appreciate about Helen or My Hunger is the fact that each of the poems in here is its own isolated, standalone, siloed piece of art, and yet is part of a greater kaleidoscopic body of work. This book really challenges and breaks down what it means to be human in our world, both historically and figuratively. And it is a painful and angry process. But through her deft and precision and exquisite and exacting language, she does a fantastic job of challenging our thoughts and our beliefs. And she does so without fear of failure. I think one of the things I also appreciate is I like the way that Gale is, in a way, attacking poetry and attacking the form of the poem in the sense that she's challenging what its worth is in the greater scheme of human nature, both figuratively and personally, whether it's the act of creating poetry, of reading and processing poetry, or putting your poetry out there for others. This part actually I really liked. It's on page 26. The poem you read equals the length of fission. What I speaks around what I am typing this instead of writing by hand, Adrienne Rich writes, because my wrist on the right side blooms and rushes with pain. Her tool of communication aches. And the answer is not, yet I am writing, but rather, I am in pain, and therefore my writing comes to you this way. The form becomes the telling, teeth marks on the frame. I love this part, and for personal reasons. What was cool about that, as a segue, was when I was a little kid, I remember my grandparents had this old 1950s style pool table, billiard table, with the green felt. And as a kid, I would always run in and go straight to that pool table when I went to visit my grandparents. And I would get to the edge and look over the lip, trying to spot and eye the balls on the table. And I would sink my teeth into the wood, just like she was biting the frame in this poem. And the impression of my little teeth marks were all around the lip of that billiard table. I don't know, just sharing. So we've come to the end of the day 5 video, and I hope I've done an effective job of communicating to you why I really liked Gale Marie Thompson's Helen or My Hunger, while at the same time it was a tremendous pain in the ass. But I mean that with all sincerity and love. This was a fantastic book. It is a worthy addition to your collection. It will challenge you. It'll challenge your sensibilities. It will elevate your ability to read and to disseminate poetry. So I recommend you go out and get this from Yes Yes Books right away. It's on sale. I believe they're having a Sealy Challenge sale. So go get this. Get a copy of this. What are you waiting for? Stop watching. Go. Get this book. Go on. Are you still watching for reals? Stay strong, be persistent, be curious, regardless of how you are challenged and put through the ringer by a book. You will come out the other side a better person for it. Until next time.